Hi, I'm Anthony from New Backyard Veggies. We're at the end of July here in Sydney, so I'm actually starting to grow out my spring seedlings. In earlier videos, I showed you how I started off my seedlings, and I just wanted to give you an update of where my seedlings are at and what I'm doing to help them grow out so that I can plant them out in mid to late August. So just coming in closer to my current set of spring seedlings, I've actually got in this punnet, I'm growing out my first round of tomato seedlings. These are the larger slicing varieties, and these were planted out about two and a half weeks ago. So they're up to their first set of true leaves, as you can just see there. And so at the moment they're out in full sun, and I have given them their first round of liquid fertilizer just to really get them going. Expecting these to be planted out in mid-August, and in about 2.5 weeks time. I've also germinated a fair few capsicum seedlings. The two on the right are the large bell pepper type capsicums called Harley. These are very good producer, really large bell type peppers. I've also grown my first round of jalapeno chilies. I use a lot of this. I use a lot of jalapenos, and I make a lot of jalapeno jams and pickles. So looking forward to growing those. I've also, in a previous video, I showed how I seeded this tray to grow out my bush beans. These are the Jackson, the green French bean, and I've had pretty much essentially full germination. So I'm just giving them again out in full sun, and they'll be planted out, I'm hoping next week actually. My flat beans are just taking a little longer, but they will be ready again in about 2 weeks time. I've also grown, in this time of year, I also do like to continue to grow broccoli. I will be planting broccoli all the way till October. So this is my next round of broccoli seedlings, and they're ready to go out into the patch. And finally, just to fill out a few of the spots in my garden, I've grown pak choi in punnets, and I'll be planting these seedlings out this weekend as well. And also in other videos, I have shown how I plant out my pak choi. So these will be used to fill out those spots in the garden, which are still a bit early to plant my spring veggies. So the turnaround of those seedlings is about 4 weeks from planting to harvest. So pretty good. So I'm going to keep them out. What I do is I keep them out in full sun. I do bring them in the evenings just to take them out of the cooler weather. I've given them a first round of liquid fertilizer. Just keep them well watered and looked after. And yeah, it's quite easy to start off your spring seedlings this way. I'll be planting them out over the next 4 weeks. So now I'm off to see if I can do some harvesting in the patch. So this afternoon, I'm just going to come through. I've got to harvest my kohlrabi. These were planted, I think, about 2 months ago. So they're really fast growing with Veggie, and they're ready to go. So I'm going to come through and harvest the lot. Most of them are quite large. We're looking at anywhere between a softball and a tennis ball size. So probably have in the order of 12 here. So I'm going to come through, harvest a lot, give a bit more space to these lettuces here at the front. There you go, beautiful. Got a few more to harvest. I'll go get into them now. Just finished a harvest. Got about in the order of a dozen kohlrabi. These are great, good size. So just got to clean them up, get rid of the roots, get rid of the leaves, and I'll take them inside and put them in the fridge, and they'll be in over the next week or so. Kohlrabis are really easy to grow and don't take up too much space, funny enough. They were just growing in between the lettuce and the silver beet there. So 8 weeks to turn around. Something you should always look at growing in your bed, especially if you've got a bit of space that you need to fill while you're waiting for other crops to grow. So I just finished harvesting that kohlrabi, so I'm just going to go over now to my loose leaf lettuce, and I'm going to go do a bit of a harvest. I gave them a clip last week, and we've worked through all those lettuces now, so they've grown quite fast, so it's time to come through, let's do another harvest. So I'm just going to go through now and just go through and harvest the outer leaves and get them washed and take them inside. So as I'm going through and harvesting this patch, I'm going to try to do a bit of weeding as well. But what I'm looking at doing is just taking off the outer leaves and adding them to the bucket of cool water, just to cool them down while I finish off harvesting the rest. So just going to go through and progressively just harvest the lot and just get rid of all this chickweed that seems to be growing in between the plants. Those are the kind of leaves I'm picking at the moment. They're really clean, really fresh, so I'm going to keep going through. So there's my harvest. I'm just soaking it a bit in water just to cool it down a bit, and then I'll give it a clean and take them inside. Over here, I've really cut right back. I like to do a really solid harvest. And I want to come now is let's come in and just give them a bit of a liquid feed just to really encourage them for another harvest next week. But all in all, happy with that. I'm going to see what else there is to do around the patch. So I'm over at my cauliflower patch, and these are ready to be harvested now. So there's a few heads showing that are just perfect for harvest. So I'm going to come through and harvest 2 or 3 heads this morning. But also I'm going to be looking at doing another harvest of my sugar snap peas just out there in the background. I've done 2 harvests through there already, and it needs to go through in a 3rd one. Plenty of fruit on those at the moment as well, so need to get on top of them. So first things first, I'm going to come over and see which cauliflowers I'm going to harvest. It's just coming through and having a look. I've got, I think, 12 in this patch. And I'm just looking, and I think this one here, this head here is going to be great. This one I think is ready to harvest. I'm looking at a few others. Every one of these plants has a head showing, but if I just come across further, we've got this one here at the front. This one also looks like it's good to go. Just trying to see if it's not separating. It's not separating at the moment. It's got good size to it. So that would probably be another one to harvest. And yeah, I might just go through and check the rest of them. But so far, at least 2 heads today, which is great. These ones were planted out in May. So early to mid-May, I think it was. I have to check my records, but it's good to see that they're just coming in to harvest just in time to free up the space for spring planting. So I'll come through, harvest those 2 heads for now. There you go. That's the first head. You can sort of get a lot of leaves in there. I'll come through and harvest one more. Beautiful. Okay, so I've got 2 nice heads, and I'm just going to clean up the leaf matter off them just to see what I'm dealing with. I'm not going to try to take off all the leaves, but I'll just take out the larger ones, and there you go. Beautiful. It's just starting to spread a bit there, so probably just a day over, but that's fine. That's perfect. I'm going to see what the second one's like. I don't have much in terms of slug damage on it, but you know, it looks really, really good. go. And that's my second head. Perfect. Lucky with these ones, there's not much slug damage, which is great. It could be due to the lack of rain we've been getting over the last few weeks, but I'm happy with those. Those will go inside. And now I'm just going to move on to harvesting my sugar snap peas. Yeah, just before I harvest my sugar snap peas, just wanted to show everyone just the amount of fruit that's hanging off these vines. They're absolutely amazing. There's heaps. This is probably this is my second planting. This is by far the more successful one. Just bring it close in there. I've already had 3 harvests previously done through this, and it seems to be just doing really, really well. So I'm going to come through and just pick all the larger pods. They tend to be a lot sweeter, and then every week I'll just come through and do a harvest. So I'm going to progressively start from the left and move all the way to the end. That's just from that little section so far. Let's keep going. So I just finished off harvesting my sugar snap peas, and I'm happy to say that I've been able to harvest a bucket load of them. There you go, just there. I'm going to give these a bit of a clean now, but I'm really happy. There's still a lot of peas on the trellis, so I reckon I'll be doing the same amount of harvest next week. We've probably got about a kilo and a half here, so it's really good. I'll just add that to my cauliflowers that I harvested this morning. Excuse all the noise, the neighborhood noise, dogs going off and the chickens are going off in the background, but I'm just happy with that harvest, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to harvest those peas for another 3 weeks, and maybe the cauliflowers at the same time for another 2 weeks at least, and then clear that bed for tomatoes and cucumbers. So I'm going to take these inside now, give them a bit of a wash and put them in the fridge.